بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وأفضل الصلاة وأتم التسليم على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما. اللهم لا سهل إلا ما جعلته سهلا وأنت تجعل الحزن إذا شئت سهلا. سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم. أسأل الله تبارك وتعالى أن يجعل نياتنا خالصة لوجهه الكريم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. I wanted to expound on something that one of the great knowers of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala mentioned when he said that knowledge, true knowledge, is that which reveals to you or bequeaths to you your own ignorance. It's very significant that we understand this. I had a discussion yesterday that angered me so bad. And it was related to this matter. May Allah make us of people who can control our anger, but sometimes we lose it. I lose it sometimes, I do. But what angered me was this point, that knowledge if we really learn, it should lead us to the point to realize how much we don't know. And in case some of us didn't realize about me, you should have noticed it by now. I'm very sensitive to the plight of African American Muslims in the United States. I'm sensitive to the plight of all Muslims around the world. But as being an African American Muslim, I'm extremely sensitive to our plight as Muslims. And I honestly feel, it's my personal feeling, you don't have to agree, that Islam has become, not Islam, I should not say this. The way Islam is being conveyed in the Black community has become the new slavery system for African American Muslims. I'll say it that way. The way Islam is being conveyed in the African American communities by others is a new system of slavery for them. And it disgusts me, to be honest. It disgusts me so bad that it makes me feel that it is our obligation as African Americans to rebel in every sense of the word. This is my feeling. I've watched people from other ethnicities subjugate African Americans in the name of Islamic knowledge. And put them at their feet and treat them as servants and second-class citizens. And I've seen too many Uncle Tom Black Muslims cater to that and accept that and think that that's the norm, to the point that if another African American Muslim stands up, boss, he's getting out of line. And it disgusts me. We went through that before we were Muslims. Al-Hajj Malik Shabazz described the field Negro and the house Negro. Not to say how I really feel about them. No need, you got the point. We have too many house Negroes in Islam. Too many. And all of us, African American, Muslim, non-African, who have an American experience, all love Malcolm X. And we talk about Malcolm X and we celebrate Malcolm X. But I believe if Malcolm X was alive watching the stuff we see, he would rebel. He would rebel. He wouldn't accept it. Beyond the fact that that's not Islam. And that's not just the duty of African American Muslims to rebel against this. It is also the duty of others, whether they're from Arab background or Desi background or African background, when they see that happening, for them to speak against it as well. It's not sufficient alone just for the African American to get off his knees. He has to do that. You need to stand up. But the others, when he sees them being in that position, to speak out against it as well, because it's not Islam. This weekend, one of those house Negroes came to the lecture. I'm saying it just like that. One of those house Negro Muslims came to the gathering. He spied for some others. I know them when I see them. They have a certain nature, right? He asked a question in a way of refuting what I was saying. So he says, when I was telling the people about the condition, obvious, they're translating books, leaving important facts out, telling you stuff that ain't the reality. So that's the point. It's clear. And my advice was that we need to learn enough to protect ourselves. And we need to make an environment where we can look out for ourselves, where others are not looking out for us. That's reality. It's real. And everyone in the room understands that. And everyone who listens, who pays attention and don't lie to themselves, they know this is a problem. So this house Negro he says, well, didn't the Prophet ﷺ say there's no Arab over non-Arab, no black over white? And I looked at him and I said to him, that's not our problem. You should be telling that to the other people who try to subjugate black people, like yourself. Listen, you're the one that spent around people for 20 years and more and your people still don't know the basic knowledge of the religion. All you know how to do is go against other black people and call them kuffar and misguided and check their words. But you yourself don't even know the basic obligations of the religion. You just parrot what you heard. And you telling the black people, don't speak out because, you know, there's no black over white and white. We obvious, we can look at that. And you can censor the black people, but you say nothing to them others who got you at their feet. You can censor the black Muslims. You can tell them this, you can tell them that. But when it comes to those who are oppressing the black Muslims, you don't have a word to say except, yes, sir, boss. You would think I'm talking about white people, right? I'm not. I'm talking about Arabs with their foot over black people's neck. I'm not talking about white people. I'm not talking about non-Muslim white. I'm talking about black Muslim Arabs doing that to those, in this particular case, Muslim Arabs who tell a grown black man, you don't have permission to speak. A grown man with kids, you don't got permission to speak, but you have all the permission to go against your people. You don't have permission to speak, but you got all the permission in the world to go against your black people. You don't have permission to teach them. You don't have permission to assist them, but you do have permission to speak against them. That is deep. You do have permission to speak against them, but you don't have permission to help them. You don't have permission to teach them. You don't have the permission to participate with them. You don't have permission to help them build. You don't have permission to help them do business. You don't have permission for anything but to destroy them. I want you to think about that. And they send them into the black community to cause sedition. They send them into the black community and cause sedition. And they've been doing it for years. And this ain't a Wahhabi Salafi thing. This is people who consider themselves Ahl Sunnah. They ain't got nothing to do with Wahhabi Salafi. This is something different. It's worse than that. You're talking about black people that strive to be good Muslims and someone manipulating them because of their ignorance to go against their own people. I'm telling you, in this session, they come because they told me. I'm telling you, in these classes, you got a bunch of spies. They're not here to learn. They're only here to see if the black man makes a mistake so they can report it to their master, so their master can give them the ability to speak against their own people. You heard what I just said? They're only in the session to listen, to hope the black man makes a mistake, so they can go report to their master and tell their master, yeah, boss, look what I found. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. And this is sad. It's sad. This is the plight of us. It's sad. Had I been Arab, had I been Pakistani or someone else, you wouldn't even bother us. The fact that we're black, you have a lot of energy. I spoke for 3 hours, almost 4 hours. And you try to find the most stupid thing to come up with to try to condemn all what we're doing. A black man. But it wasn't the black guy. It was the black guy working on behalf of the Arabs. Right? But this is the deen. And I say this because it needs to be spoken. And it happens a lot. Right? It happens a lot. So some of you, I can't talk to you directly because, you hide behind Facebook, you hide on YouTube. So that's the only way to reach you. Stop letting people destroy your people from within. Stop it. It is time, it is crucial that African American Muslims rise up and take their proper place in society. And that place is not at the service of everyone else except themselves. Really. That doesn't mean you're against anyone. That means you're willing to empower yourself, which is necessary. And if you really, really understand, it's necessary to you to do that for the furtherance of Al-Islam, especially in the West. Especially in the West. It's extremely important that we do our part. And as I told the individual while he was talking so reckless, I said, listen, man, if I didn't love you, this would be different. Really, if I didn't love you, this conversation would go totally different. Because it pains me to see us like that. I never was like that when I wasn't a Muslim. As a kid, I wasn't like that. I never was like that. I've always had dignity in being whom Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created me as. I never had an inferiority complex as a black man, even as a kid. And Islam is supposed to give you more dignity, more honor, and to see us put our heads down and tap dance for someone who obviously has not shown our people any concern. Right in the face of what you see is heartbreaking. Seriously. And as a general message to others, as you see in society, when you're oppressive, eventually people are going to rebel against you. And if those who are in leadership among our immigrant communities don't get this racism thing together, you're going to see uprisings in Masjid one time. It's going to come. Mark my words. If they don't change their racist behaviors, you're going to see uprising in Masjid. Watch. Pay attention. May Allah protect us. But I'm telling you, if those racist behaviors don't change, racist behaviors don't change, you're going to see uprising in Masjid. Or you're going to see severe division among racial lines among Muslims, especially in this country. It's already happening. I don't know if you're paying attention. It's happening. It's happening. And it ain't because of Imam Muhammad. People are tired of being oppressed. They're not going for it. They're tired of being treated as, this is for you and this is for us. They're tired of that stuff. And the thing you could use to do that, Islam, we follow the Sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That stuff is getting old. The Sheikh said, man, I don't care what the Sheikh said if he said that. I don't give a crap what he said. Straight up. If he said that, and if that's what you understood from him, I don't want to listen to him. That's where you're pushing people. If the Sheikh told you to treat me like a servant, I don't care what he said. That's where you're pushing people. I don't want to hear nothing he got to say. That's where you're pushing people. Be careful. And you don't have to listen. You're just going to see the result. You don't have to listen. You'll just see the result. Because I've seen it happen multiple times and I'm watching it. I'm watching it on the national level. I'm watching on the local level. People getting tired of that stuff. Watch, just pay attention. And this is my scattered thoughts, and these are my thoughts, but they're serious thoughts. Seriously. We have to start living Islam as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed it, and as the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam conveyed it, truly, not use it for our own political, organizational, or personal agendas. It's not working. And the young group of children, never going to accept that. They come from a whole different environment. The youth ain't accepting that. They're not doing it. They're not going to do that. Not this young generation. They're not doing that. They're not going to do it. You're going to find that they're going to rebel. They're not doing that. Their Uncle Tom tap dancing stuff, they're not going to do it. They come in an environment of going against oppression. They're growing up in that kind of world. That old tricks you've been using 30 years ago, 25 years ago, that stuff is dead. Ain't nobody doing that. And all of us know what I'm talking about. You might not know the specific point I'm making, but it ain't really about the specific point. It's general, and all of us have recognized this. All of us as African Americans, and when I say all, I mean the majority, have experienced this and know exactly what I'm talking about. And if you haven't, you blind. You should open your eyes. Seriously, if you haven't noticed what I'm talking about, you should open your eyes. Something's wrong with you. You got your eyes. You're walking around with blinders on. I mean, think about this. Think about it. Someone tells a grown black man with children, with a family, you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't do that, but you can oppose your people. And he says, yes. Okay. What the heck we got going on here? What kind of children you going to raise? Think about that. What kind of men you're going to raise and you're like that? And your children watch you like that. Do you realize that our kids is gunning each other down? They're not going to take that from nobody else. They're gunning each other down daily around the country. That's a spirit. They're not cowards. They're not going to do that. They're not cowards. You can't go to our people like that. You can forget it. You'll never give da'wah in the inner cities with that kind of spirit. These guys, the young boys are lions, misguided lions, but lions. And you coming like that? Man, you crazy. Are you out your mind? You really believe that you're going to give da'wah like that? You crazy. Insane. So stop wasting your time. For all you spies, I'm one black man. Don't give a crap what your sheikh says. I don't. And you can tell him I said it. And if he get enough guts, I'll tell him to his face. I don't care what you think. If you're not trying to help my people, you can get out my face. Period. If you're not trying to build and bring my people to a new condition, I don't care who you are. You can get out my face. That's what you're going to get from me. So you don't got to listen to your spies. I'm telling you myself. And if you ever get enough guts, I'm going to tell you to your face. And that message, take it to him. Tell him I said it. I know some of you like, what the heck is he talking about? But I see a lot of things. A lot of you, people coming in, they act like they with us to pull you into their crap. And some of you don't know what's happening and you're being pulled in it. I know it by your posts, right? I know it by your posts, what you're sharing, so I know what's going on. I know what's going on. I'm telling you. Not everyone who says they're Ahl Sunnah are just for Ahl Sunnah. Not everyone who say I'm Ahl Sunnah they're not just for Ahl Sunnah. They have an objective and they're using Ahl Sunnah for that objective. It has nothing to do with Ahl Sunnah. It is an objective. It is a political aim. And they're using it to control, especially it subjugates in this country, black people. So out of manners, I don't attack fully. But an indication is clear. An indication is clear. We're not going for that. We're not. Absolutely not. It is hurtful, right? We come to Islam to be free, not to be slaves. Look, we come to Islam to be free, not to be slaves. We didn't come to Islam to be slaves. And I don't know what you've been dealing with for all these years. You got a whole new breed of people. We ain't going for that. Forget about it. Especially if I'm involved with it. We definitely ain't going for it. Absolutely not. No way. And we don't need you for knowledge. We don't. So we're not going to kiss your behind because you might have something we don't know. We got it ourselves. We don't need you. We got it ourselves. We don't need you. So what you saying don't matter. We don't have, and listen, they ain't giving you nothing anyway. They're not giving you anything anyway. In case you didn't know, let me tell you, they're not giving you nothing anyway. They're giving you the bare minimum so you never learn enough so they can take their grip off your neck. They're not teaching you anyway. And it reached a point. I told one of my teachers, this is how bad it is. And I love him. He wanted me to do something. I said, my people ain't doing that. Straight up. My people's not going to do that. No. Got to come a different way. We're not doing that. Absolutely not. You want to help us learn? You want to help us acquire more knowledge? We down. We're not following you. No. Just learning the religion, studying the religion, we with that. Following you? No, we're not doing it. We're not going to do it. We're not doing it. Call it whatever you want. There's no racism in Islam. Okay, stop being a racist, then maybe we could talk. There's no racism in Islam. Okay, apply that to yourself, and then maybe we'll talk. But until you do that, no, we're not doing it. We're not following you in that. Absolutely not. Learning the deen, talking about the Quran, hadith of the Prophet, the knowledge, yes. If that's going to turn into us being your servant, forget about it. It's not happening. Not even smell like that, we ain't doing it. So for all my non-African American brothers and sisters who listen, who follow, in general, we talking deen, and we all with that. We understand the religion, we're down. But then there are some other issues that we can't avoid because we're faced with them. Maybe you don't deal with them, so it might not be that sensitive to you, but we deal with them on a regular basis. So we can't hide from it. You know what I mean? We can't. It knocks on our door every time we get up in the morning, it's knocking, you know? We have to learn to do for ourselves. We have to learn to do for ourselves. And when we do it, it will be better for everybody, right? It will be better for everybody. It will be better for everybody. It will be better for the deen, better for the da'wah. It's much better. These things darken the heart. La hawla wala, they darken the heart. So that's my scattered thought. I hope you found some benefit. If it don't apply, let it fly, as they say. But if it does, and you see it, have an active role in stopping it. Have an active role in stopping it. If you can only speak about it, say, yo, that's wrong. You know? Demand on your boards, your administration, demand that you have African-American leadership. Demand it. We're not supporting you unless there's some black leadership up in here. And that token leadership that has real authority. We're not supporting you with nothing. You don't have no real black authority in a country where there's African-American Muslims who struggled and sweat and fought to have what you have today, and they're not invited to the table. We're not supporting you. Period. Since it's all deen and there's no, okay, let me see some black leadership. Let me see some uplifting of black teachers and imams and scholars that you recognize and you support. Let's see it. Let's not just have token talk. Let's actually see it. Let's see it. Don't give me some token Negro who reads from a paper, meaning you tell him what to say, and that's what he says. Don't you go outside of that. Look, show me a man that my children could be proud of. Not a boy who just know how to parrot what you say. And some of you, you know exactly what I'm saying. And you're responsible to change it. You're responsible. I'm talking about African-American Muslims. You're responsible to make that change. You can't keep doing that. Brothers that you knew for years, you knew their struggle, and all of a sudden, because they not tap dancing to some Arab, now that brother's misguided or kafir. Brother been in the struggle 20, 30 years, and now he's misguided, and he's stupid, and he don't know the deen. But when he was in it, he's able to do everything. And now he ain't dancing to your Mr. Charlie. He's stupid. He need to go learn. Man, miss me with all that crap. All right. My rant. I go that way, so I don't go another way. I don't like it, so I go the nice way. I just get it out. But it'll wake up somebody, inshallah. Somebody will hear what I'm saying, and they'll wake up, even if it's one is worth it. If it's one brother or sister that's been watching, that sees what's going on, open their eyes, that's good enough, right? Just one. And maybe that one will have a spirit of Malcolm, or a spirit of Harriet Tubman, or a spirit of Nat Turner, or a spirit of Marcus Garvey. That type of spirit. And maybe they will help the others. But I'm telling you, if you believe you got the haqq, we're on the truth, and we're Ahl Sunnah, and take that to the people who need it. And stop letting them tell you how to help your people. How about that? You got so much truth. Instead of attacking us, why don't you do what we're doing freely? Oh, I forgot, you can't. Why don't you do what we do? Stop talking to the choir. These platforms are open for everybody. You can get you an account. You can set everything up. You can get you a StreamYard. You can go for it. Why don't you do that? Since you got so much knowledge and so much information to share, why don't you do that? Instead of spending your energy trolling those who are trying to do something to uplift their people, why don't you help? How about that? Brother Tenweer, you're right about that. But some people need to be told as well. You're 100% right. We can teach them by example. Some just want to be where they're at, but also some need to be told. So we give them what they need. I like this. That's true. We're not going to wait for a seat at your table. We will bring our own table. That's it. That's what we have to do. It's sad, but that's the way it is. And we got to deal with reality. But also don't let it affect our hearts, right? Don't let it affect our hearts. Know it exists. Do what we got to do, but don't let it, because when we do what we got to do, we got to bring this ummah together somehow, some way. So we can't have diseased hearts while we're doing that. So at the same time, we got to watch our hearts while we do deal with the problem. All right, I got to go to post-Fajr reflections, and I hope everyone understood what I said. And if you misunderstood what I said, contact with me and I'll explain it to you. So if you didn't understand, you can message me. I'm confused and I will help you. But I think most people, especially those who are affected by what I'm talking about, they know exactly what I'm talking about. They know exactly who I'm talking about. And all I'm saying, so I know Abdurrahman Rahim, he knows exactly what I'm talking about. He's like me. We on the same page. Abdurrahman Rahim. Sometimes they forget where we've been. All right, barakallahu bikum. May Allah reward you all. I'll see you at post-Fajr reflections. Assalamu alaikum.